Man, that's an amazing size family, Mr. Greene.
Yes.
I tell you, yeah, and Mrs. Greene, you guys have legacies growing.
Yes.
And each one of those brothers and sisters, they're creating a family legacy, right? Because it multiplies. You know, if one has two has two, that's 6, 8, 10, 12, etc. Okay, so school, right? And we can go through high school with this one, from grade school to high school. Tell me some good times that you had, Mama Greene, during high school. I mean, during your school years.
I think the greatest thing was the gift that I had of sewing passed down from my mother.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the 7th grade, I made my first outfit in home economics. And I was able to model it with the 8th graders.
What?
And normally you don't model whatever you make in home economics. You don't do it in the 7th grade. You don't, do it until the 8th grade.
So you was advanced.
Right, because of the gift that I had from my mother, that I loved to watch her sew.
Mm-hmm.
And that once I got in home economics, that had me to topic where I could model my own outfit.
So you technically had a runway in middle school, because they was modeling the runway, right? The fashion runway.
8th grade, so.
Wow.
So I think that was the greatest beginning of, my schooling that I really enjoyed.
You was the happiest of your time then in school?
Yes, with home economics.
Okay.
The ability to use my hands.
Okay. Mr. Greene, we're going to ask you that same question. During your school year, what was the time, we can go, like I said before, through grade school, through high school. What was the times that you knew you just enjoyed them, like they were just so amazing to you?
The things I enjoyed the most was all of us, all my brothers, we picked it up singing. All of us loved to sing. And we sang in the choruses when we was in middle school and also high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my own apartment and 3 babies.
And that was, hold on now. Let's go back to 13. Well, how was your first baby was what?
I was 14.
14, that's Big Leon. Okay.
Then the next one was born 2 years later.
Okay.
2 years and 2 years and 7 days apart.
Okay.
Exactly. One was born June the 1st, the other was born June the 7th.
And the second one name was what?
Timothy.
Okay, Big Tim. Okay.
And then the third one, he came 18 months later.
Okay.
And he was the youngest one, which was born October the 1st, 18 months later.
Okay. About almost every 2 years on average.
Right.
You had another. Okay, that sounds good.
By that time, we were already living with his mother after getting married. But then we moved out into the projects. And
where was this at? Where?
Taylor Homes.
Taylor Homes. What city? Wilmington, North Carolina.
Which
Okay.
was on 4th Street on the north side of town.
Okay.
And so there I was with a apartment to take care of, 3 sons, and a husband that wasn't ready for this type life.
To responsibility.
So there
Okay.
was a lot of transition went there. So most of the time it was me and the 3 boys.
Okay. So now, let's talk about how we always talk about children's, how were they growing up? So how was Leon, the first one out? How was he? What kind of child was he?
Well, they all were so close together.
Mm-hmm.
He always thought he had to take care of his mom. The oldest one always feel, that they got to help the mom with the younger one.
Okay.
So
he was kind of like the little daddy and the nurturing mom, supportive type stuff. Hey, mama said, okay, got it.
Right.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, and then you or him say, don't do that, mom. Mom gonna get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He took that responsibility with the boys. But with with my boys, I had the support of my in-laws and my parents, but they were on the other side of town.
Hold on now. We can't let that just wave over. So, okay, first, I'm going to get back to that question.
Okay.
So, how was Tim? What kind of
Tim-
person was he?
With
kid?
Tim was more laid back, the middle child.
Chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was more quiet, like.
Okay.
So he just kind of stood back, you know, and done more observing because he was more laid back and quiet. And then when Junior came along, which was the baby boy, he was more talkative, and you know, they were so close together. They spent time. It was like a big sister and three boys. That's the way I would put it, you know.
Okay.
And with me sewing, I mean, I would take material and make curtains, and you know, I just became a mother and a housekeeper and a wife. By the time I was 18, I was all of that. You know?
Okay. So now, that's like pretty, man. It's not children raising children, but it's definitely, I'm gonna call you a young adult, right? Because once you have a baby, that's adulthood. You agree, Mr. Greene?
Yes, I do.
So that's adulthood.
That's adult.
So young adult managing an entire household, right? So now that's this thing that you said that you were supporting two other families, right? You said your mom?
Yeah, I had support from my mother-in-law.
Okay. Oh, they were supporting you.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
With still, you know, questions or anything. Back then you had to go to a telephone booth. You couldn't just pick up a phone and call, you know.
Did it cost any money to call, or you just?
You had to go to a telephone booth, which was 10 cents.
10 cents.
Yeah, but soon they moved them out completely out. But the phone booth was across the street. So therefore, if you had to leave the house to go, if you had to call mom or mother-in-law, you know, but my parents were very, very supportive. You know, my mother-in-law and my mother in walking me through this channel, and having the gift to be able to sew. I could even make my own layout for the baby and like that.
So you had a lot of dimes available. You always kept a dime handy.
I don't know. They'll pop up every now and then.
So yes, hey, when I get a dime, I'm calling because, boy, I don't know right now. Okay, got it. That makes sense.
And you walked everywhere.
Okay.
I would have one in the stroller, one in the back of the stroller, and the other holding the sand. And my mother-in-law was walking distance from me.
Oh, man, that's good.
So I would walk. Well, I know that was about 20 blocks, but walking wasn't nothing during that time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
you tell somebody to walk now, that's an abomination. I said, you ask somebody to walk somewhere now, that's abuse.
Different.
Yeah.
So, and they used to call me the girl with the three little boys. That's what the neighbors and all. They'll see me walking from Taylor Homes to 6th and Harnett to my mother-in-law's house. And then to get to my mother, I would have to catch a cab.
Okay.
So we always had a certain cab you called. He knew I was going to be with those three boys, you know, going to Momma.
The girl with the little boys.
They called me, that's that girl with those three little boys.
The three little, okay, the girl with the three little boys.
Because all of them was doorsteps.
Okay. So, all right, Mr. Greene. All right. You had some amazing children pop out and bless your life. So, your first daughter, was it daughter?
Yes.
Okay, what was her name and what year was that?
That was 1961, if I remember correctly.
Okay. And how old were you then?
I was 29.
29. Okay. You was a seasoned adult.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So how did it feel when you knew when they said, I'm pregnant? How did you feel?
Yeah. Well, I believe it or not, my wife didn't get pregnant and when I got married.
Mm-hmm.
We got married first,
Okay.
and then she got pregnant.
Okay.
Yes. And I was still, astounded the way it went, because I was living in Sacramento, California.
Okay.
I had just gotten out of the service through ROTC.
Okay.
And when I came out, I went to Sacramento because my sister lives there. So when I went to Sacramento, I was living single at the time, living with my sister. And the thing about her, she had 6, 7, I can't remember at the time, because she ended up with 7 boys and one girl. 7 boys and 1 girl. Whereas my mom and dad had 8 boys and 2 girls.
Whoa.
And she was one of the girls.
Okay.
So she left and fell in love with a gentleman from the Navy who was stationed down in Charleston.
So y'all had military y'all life always.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So when my sister decided to get married, when he came out of the Navy, he said, I want to marry. He told my mom and dad that he was going to marry the daughter, my sister.
Okay.
And we thought, well, we didn't think about him coming out of the Navy and moving to Sacramento where he's from and staying. They had no thought. We had no thought that he would, after he came out and stayed in Sacramento, never come back to Charleston.
Oh, wow.
So that was really something. When we look at that, we said, wow, we didn't think that my sister is going to move and live and get married and move to Sacramento, California. That kind of came as a shock to us.
Okay.
To all of us. And that's exactly what he did. So, and the thing about it, they liked him, but my older sister didn't like him that much because she didn't want him to marry my youngest sister.
So that's what took you to Sacramento?
After I came out from the ROTC, I went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And when I came from Fort Sill, Oklahoma, I went to Sacramento, California.
So that's where you met your wife?
And that's where I met my wife.
Okay.
Correctly.
That's good stuff. So, man, okay, 29, your first baby. So you had some experience, as in life experience.
Yes.
Right? You had life experience, so you kind of had a little clue, itty bitty, because new parents is always just a treasure hunt. I'll just say treasure hunt. You discover a discovery island, right? You always discover something.
Yes, yes.
No, okay. So, how many children did you have?
1, 2, 3. I have an adopted one by my wife who I married. She had a child.
Okay.
So that's like an adopted son. That's not my blood son, but she had a child. Well,
I'm gonna say like the judge. Once you feed them so long, they're yours, right? That's what the judge says, right? Feed them till they look like you.
Yeah, right.
And I'm quite sure they look like you, right? So, okay, so 2 daughters and a son.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had Tammy and Rory and then Ray. 2 sons and a daughter.
2 sons and a daughter.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 sons and a daughter.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Correct.
Okay, I seen your daughter. I think I interviewed your daughter at the wedding.
At the reception,
right?
Correct.
Yeah, she had the mask on initially, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
That was Tammy.
Okay, no problem. You good, Mom? You good? This is a joint. You can say anything. Okay. So, that's parenthood. So, both of you had a good parenthood. Good experience. It was was there any surprises? Like any baby surprise? Like, oh my God, I wasn't expecting this, and oh my God. No
surprise.
Okay. You accept it as they come.
Yes.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so now we're moving into, and we'll get back to you because you kind of jumped over with your parenthood because 28 from the teens. So we'll get back to your teens, right? Okay, so Mama Greene.